Hey everybody, my name is Ashley Rush and I am an independent creative memories advisor located in North Carolina. Today I'm back with one of my favorite video series. Yes, my favorite. It is project recipes. I love a project recipe. I love that Creative Memories takes all of the hard work and produces this beautiful product, and I learned to mix things in a way that I would not have thought of before. So if you've never heard of a project recipe and you're like, why are we talking about cooking on a scrapbook page? A project recipe is something created by Creative Memories. They create one for each of their collections, and it is a guide to create a 2-page spread. But the coolest thing about project recipes is that you can use them over and over and over again, and you can switch out the collections you've used, switch out the tools you used, and you get completely unique, beautiful pages. So I hope you guys enjoyed this project recipe. It was, I think, Boho? No. Well, I'm clearly going to be flashing up the name of it here. It's from 2021, so 2 years ago. I do have some questions to ask you guys about project recipes at the end. They're really kind of important, and I think I'm really excited about it. So please stay tuned, and I'd love to hear your feedback. All right, guys, enjoy. For today's project recipe, you will need your 12-inch trimmer, a border punch. I'm using the Monstera leaves, your tape runner, and 4 sheets of paper. I'm using some from Tropic Time. They're mostly tonals, but this would be a great opportunity to introduce 2 loud patterns, and those would be as your base. Let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, I have 2 pieces that are identical. Those are going to serve as my base, and I'm just going to set those aside. You guys are going to be amazed by how cute and how quick this recipe goes. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to choose one of your sheets of paper. I'm going to use this really light teal, and I am just going to do a couple of quick cuts. I'm going to make a 5.5-inch cut. Which, if you're not familiar with our trimmer, 5.5 is right to the edge. I'm going to make another 5.5-inch cut. Which leaves me with this 1-inch strip. I'm going to take this 1-inch strip, I'm going to turn it over so you guys can see, and now I'm just going to cut this in half. So that means a 6-inch cut. All right, that is done. Now I am going to take my next sheet, and before I use it to trim, I am going to cut out 2 borders of the Monstera leaves. All right, I am done with my punch. I can go ahead and set that aside. If you guys stay tuned to the end, I will give you some tips on how to do this recipe without a punch. All right, so now I'm going to make an 8.5-inch cut. Should be fairly close to the end of our paper here. I've got a small bit of leftovers. I can set that aside. I won't need it. And I'm going to give my paper a 1/4 turn and make a 6-inch cut. I also need to take my borders here that I made, and I'm going to give them a 6-inch cut. Guys, all of my cuts are done. It's time to assemble. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to use these two pieces as my base. Now I'm going to take those 5.5-inch rectangles. They're going to go on either side of the center. Now our big rectangles are going to line up right next to that and then centered top to bottom. Actually, we're going to cheat those up a little bit, maybe about 1 inch, 2 inches off. There'll be a little more space on the bottom than there is on the top. We're going to use the reverse of our Monstera punches. And those can go directly onto our papers. And then last but not least, we're going to put these little strips just to pop a color. And we're finished. So you will have space for 2 4x6 photos right here. And then you have space for 6, count them, 6 photos here that are 5 by 3.5. So the next step to do is just to adhere everything. And of course, before you adhere, you can play around with flipping over your pieces, maybe even dropping pieces. I might decide not to put these in at all. The green is a little jarring for me, but you get to mix and match and play however you want. This is what our page looks like when it's all done. As I said before, you had room for 6 5 by 3.5 photos. And then here on the side, these are actually 4.5 by 6.5 inch mats. Depending upon which border you use and how you arrange it will dictate what size photo you can use here. I used that Monstera punch and then I cheated it down so that it was on the seam where these papers met. As you can see, I did end up keeping that dark green and then I introduced some green in the mats. Now, if I had used a punch and then put it directly on the edge, that will cheat into this, which means you wouldn't be able to get a 4.5 by 6.5. But a 4 by 6 will still fit. And then over here, you might guys see that I put a journaling box with the lines going the wrong way. I don't intend on using that as a journaling box, but it had the same pattern as this mat here. And then I can easily cover that with a photo, and you won't see the lines anymore. You'll only see the outline, which is why that's working. Now, I mentioned that I would show you what it looked like if you didn't use a punch. I made a couple alterations, but I want to show you guys this layout. And I used the Showtime recipe. Right? So in this one, no punches, just straight cuts. I got rid of that second piece here, and I, because it was too busy. This happened to work out. This is a piece of designer paper that is just rows and rows of film. So I cut those out so that they would be going this way. They look kind of like a border, and then I tucked that in underneath instead of on top, mainly because how it cut. I was like half a row of film up here and it just kind of looked weird. But still lots of room for our photos like before. Excuse the fact that I'm not putting them on super pretty and straight, but you get the idea. And now even more room here. So definitely room for 4.5 by 6.5, 4.5 by 6.5, and room to like journal or title, depending upon what paper you've used here. You could also put some really fun sticker clusters there. I just think that this is a super simple, versatile recipe, and I love that you can get 8 photos on it. What do you guys think? Wasn't that simple? This may be one of the easiest project recipes we've done. 4 sheets of paper, we're only cutting 2, and they're very simple, straight cuts, especially if you don't use a border punch, which I used the Monstera leaves and it created a beautiful border. I showed you guys with Showtime how to flip this around and not use any tools at all other than the trimmer, obviously. But you could also substitute the border punch for something using the border maker system and different BMCs. It's really like endless, our options. You just little tweaks here, little tweaks there, and you've got completely new pages, and I love that. So at the beginning of the video, I told you guys that this recipe is 2 years old. It came out in 2021. Now, CM does release, like I said, a new collection or a new project recipe with each collection. And those collections, you know, we get like 2 a month, one at the beginning of the month, one mid-month. So I have an idea. I don't like to publicly release those project recipes because other people use them for their business. So I have an idea of doing a project recipe club where we will be doing current project recipes with current collections. And I've got a couple ideas on how this could work. Well, two main differences. So idea number 1 is that I create a private group for like a subscription, and you would have access to brand new project recipes, a video, and you supply your own supplies. Option 2 is that I have this private avenue to release the videos, and then you guys will also get the kits. So you get 2 kits a month with everything you need to create the 2 project recipes. And then I guess there's a third option. Option 3 would be like a hybrid. So like you could choose. You could either just come in and get the videos and the recipes, or you could come in, get the videos, the recipes, and the kits. And then I guess follow up to that question is, if this is something you guys would be interested in, would you want a set price for that every month? Or like, you know, be locked in, like, okay, I want the videos this month, but next month I want the kits, or do you want to be able to divide the kits individually? I don't know. So many questions, so many answers. So based on your feedback on this, if you guys are even interested in this, I will hope to launch this by my 2nd anniversary / birthday. What is this? Anniversary? Birthday? I don't know. So I would hope to be able to launch it by then. That is March 2nd, maybe even sooner if you guys are super gung-ho. So we'll see. Give me your feedback, and I guess we'll see what happens. Okay, so if you guys use this project recipe, snap a picture of it, post it on your Facebook or your Instagram, and tag me. I would love to see your work. Or you can come to my Facebook page and comment under the announcement of this video and show me what you're working on. It makes me happy to see everyone else working on the same stuff that I was working on, and see how things are different. So Facebook and Instagram, that is the best place to get in contact with me. Reach out to me one-on-one, more privately if you need to. And I'm there to answer any questions you might have. And then if you're interested in coming to any of my events, I host in-person and virtual events. You can find those on my Scrap with Ash website. And then last but not least, if there is anything in this video that you saw and you want to get your hands on, please consider visiting my Creative Memories website, listing me as your advisor, and getting all of your scrapbook shopping done there. All right, guys, I think that is it for me. I want you to really turn on your thinking caps. Think about the Project Recipe Club. If that's something you're going to be interested in, comment here. Comment on my Facebook. I don't know. Comment somewhere so I can gather all the information. And I will be getting back to you guys about that shortly. In the meantime, I'll see you guys next week for a new video. Bye!